I'm sorry, sir. We don't serve walk-ins. The words sounded polite, but cut like glass. The man didn't argue. He simply stood there silent. They didn't know they had just turned away the founder of the brand stitched across their uniforms. He was the one who once unpacked boxes in a dusty backroom, the one who folded every display with his own hands. He built this name from nothing. And now he was not welcome in its most famous store, not because he couldn't pay, but because he didn't look like someone who belonged. A shadow crossed his eyes. It wasn't hurt for himself. It was the sting of knowing what this moment meant. The place he built had forgotten the people it was built for. Jackson West, not born into silk and marble, born into thread dust and secondhand shelves. At 17, he pressed garments until his fingers burned. At midnight, he closed the store. At dawn, he opened it again. Years passed. He turned a borrowed corner of a strip mall into a fashion house known across America. From ready to wear to runway, from 5 racks of his own designs to flagship stores in every major city. He believed fashion was an invitation, a doorway anyone could step through. But this morning, the numbers on his desk told a different story. Complaints were climbing, yet profits still rose. And Beverly Hills, the crown jewel of his empire, had quietly turned cold to the very people who once kept its doors open, a brand built on welcome. Now whispering, "You don't belong." He felt a weight in his chest. Something was wrong, and he knew. He'd have to see it with his own eyes. He set the suit aside. No polished shoes, no silk tie, just worn jeans, a faded windbreaker, and sneakers with scuffed soles. On his shoulder, a canvas tote with the cracked Byron logo from a time before anyone called it exclusive. Beverly Hills. Glass walls gleaming like a shrine. Marble floors reflecting a world of price tags higher than most cars. But before he could step inside, a velvet rope blocked the way. A young woman behind a sleek desk didn't look up. Her fingers tapped a screen in perfect rhythm. When her eyes finally lifted, they scanned him once, head to toe. "Do you have an appointment?" He smiled politely. "No, just passing by. I followed Varen since the early days." The corners of her mouth moved, but not toward kindness. "We're appointment only now," she said. "Premium clients only." And with that, the door to his own creation stayed shut. Behind her, stylists leaned on counters. No clients in sight. No fittings, no rush. Yet she tilted her chin, the silent gesture of dismissal. He glanced past her. The open, welcoming floor he had designed was gone. In its place, curated walls of couture, priced far beyond the reach of most who once loved Varen. A chandelier from Milan hung over a private espresso bar. Not for everyone, only for members. The boutique no longer breathed warmth. It pulsed with a different air, one that measured worth before offering a smile. He felt it in his chest. Not anger for himself, but a deep sinking knowledge of what this meant. This wasn't a single bad moment. It was a system built to keep people out. He turned away from the rope, and in his mind, the first steps of an investigation had already begun. The ride back was silent. Los Angeles blurred past the window, but his mind was already miles ahead. This wasn't about one employee. It wasn't even about one store. It was about the soul of what he'd built. By the time the car pulled into an unmarked building 3 mi away, he had made 2 calls. Inside waited Mark Rains, broad-shouldered, steady-eyed, a man who had handled everything from security breaches to counterfeit rings. "How was the shopping trip?" "Enlightening. In a small side room, screens lit up with data, emails, logs. A young woman stepped forward. Jenny Ramos, IT.